People live on the street for various reasons. Some people voluntarily stay on the street, unwilling to return to normal life. Some are unable to find work in order to pull themselves out of homelessness. Some people become victims of scammers who take away their homes and have nowhere else to go. Everyone who lives on the street has a difficult story behind them. We should not judge them only by the fact that they do not have their own place. After all, we do not know exactly what circumstances caused them to end up on the street. Whether or not to help these people is up to you. Everyone decides for themselves whether to share money or food or pass by in silence. But sometimes a chance meeting with such a person can be really unpredictable. It is about such a meeting that we will talk about today in our story. Tatiana lived alone in a small apartment in the city center. She was not married yet, although most women her age already were. Tatiana was not worried about this, but her friend Marina every now and then tried to introduce her to some man, hoping that her friend would start a relationship. Once, Tatiana decided to share with Marina her thoughts about a man whom she had been observing for several days. This man turned out to be homeless, who sat every day at the pedestrian crossing through which Tatiana went to work every day. The girl noticed him because he did not look like an ordinary beggar. His eyes were bright and kind. Marina only laughed at her friend, reproaching her for resorting to homeless men. Marina was never very nice to her friend, but didn't notice when her words were hurtful. Tatiana was very offended by the words of her friend, but she did not show it, instead deciding to find out why the man with such kind eyes lived on the street. The next day, she approached the man and decided to start a conversation with him. She asked him how it happened that he, looking like a healthy man, was begging for alms instead of finding a normal job. To this question, he lifted one trouser leg, and Tatiana was horrified to see a prosthesis. He told her that his name was Max, he lost his passport, and cannot restore his documents because he was a citizen of another country. He also did not have money for a ticket home, so he had to earn money like this in the hope of collecting the required amount to return home. He said that his mother was waiting for him there and did not know that her son had lost his leg. She was already worried about him, so he decided not to upset her even more. Tatiana was very moved when she heard his sad story, gave him some more money, and went home. All night she could not sleep, and she only thought about Max. Only in the morning did she manage to fall asleep for a while, and after the alarm clock woke her up for work, she firmly decided to help the unfortunate man at all costs. On her way home from work, Tatiana looked for her homeless friend. Seeing him in his usual place, she exhaled with relief and walked towards him. She told him that they will go to her house where he would be able to wash and change his clothes, and then she would help him restore his documents and buy him a ticket home. He was not eager to go with Tatiana, but he offered to accept a loan for a ticket and documents, and he would definitely return it as soon as he arrived home. But Tatiana was relentless. She took the man by the hand and confidently led him towards her house. The man had no choice but to obediently follow the girl. At home, she gave him a hot dinner and sent him to the shower. He tidied himself up and thanked the hostess for the warm welcome. The next day, Tatiana went to the store and bought some new clothes for Max. Over the next couple of days, they applied for the restoration of his documents at the embassy, and when his passport was ready, she bought him a ticket home. When Tatiana was at work, her friend Marina called her, asking where she had disappeared for the last couple of days. There was not a single word from her. Tatiana shared with her friend the latest news about Max, said that she had brought him to her house, washed him, fed him, and helped with documents. Marina was simply shocked by Tatiana's trust. She assured her that this Max was just a rogue and a crook, that normal men do not beg on the street. And when she found out that he had a prosthesis, she even stated that he had lost his leg somewhere in a drunken stupor, and now he was just using the gullibility of a young girl. She advised her to check all the valuables in her house. When Tatiana returned home, she found Max ready to leave. He thanked Tatiana again for helping him. He promised to call her as soon as he got home and send her all the money she spent on him. Max waved goodbye and left, closing the door behind him. Tatiana did not expect that he would leave her life so soon. During this time, she had already gotten used to seeing him, but now she helplessly sat down on the sofa and wept. She cried because she suddenly realized that she had fallen in love with this guy who so unexpectedly appeared in her life and also suddenly disappeared from it. Then, for some reason, she remembered her afternoon conversation with Marina about her advice to check valuables and quickly rushed to the closet where her mother's jewelry box was. She went through the entire closet, but the box was not in its usual place. The girl was stunned. Was Marina right? Max turned out to be an ordinary crook who gained the girl's confidence and then simply robbed her. A little later, when she calmed down a bit, she called Marina and told her everything, that she was right and Max really turned out to be a fraudster. But in fact, the girl was not so worried about the jewelry, but about the fact that she managed to fall in love with this fraudster, and now, even knowing the whole truth about him, she still continued to miss him. 3 months passed. Max, of course, did not call during this time, did not repay her, or send any news about himself. By that time, Tatiana was already fully convinced that Max was a rogue. She even constantly returned to the crosswalk in hopes of seeing him there, but he wasn't there. He must have changed his location, and now he was courting some other gullible girl, Tatiana thought sadly. One cool autumn evening, Tatiana, as usual, came home, turned on the TV, and sat down on the sofa. She was cold and decided to get a blanket. When she pulled on the edge of the blanket to pull it out of the closet, something heavy fell out and hit the floor. Tatiana looked at the floor and was just shocked by what she saw. Her mother's jewelry box was on the floor. The girl apparently hid it under the blanket and forgot about it. So it turned out that Max was not a thief or a swindler. He did not take the box. So then why didn't he call? Did something happen to him? These thoughts were interrupted by the doorbell. Tatiana was surprised as she was not expecting anyone. It must be Marina, Tatiana thought. But when she opened the door, she was shocked to see Max standing there with a bouquet of flowers and a large package. He looked delighted to see Tatiana, went into the apartment and hugged her tightly. "Finally, I got to you," he said, giving her the flowers and a bag of gifts. "This is a present from my mother. I told her about you and she is very grateful to you for helping me." Tatiana looked at Max and could not believe her happiness. All evening, the young people could not see enough of each other because Max also fell in love with Tatiana, and he could not call because he lost the piece of paper with her phone number which the girl gave him when they said goodbye. He was worried about this, so at the first opportunity, he quickly came personally to hug his beloved. Such an unexpected turn was found by a chance meeting of two completely different people in a pedestrian crossing. Thanks to Tatiana's responsiveness and kindness, she found her true love. If you enjoyed this story, click like, write in the comments, and subscribe to our channel.